says, okay. I was okay. Yeah, you know, it's a timeout thing. All righty. I only got an hour and 19 minutes left. Halloween! It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. Don't you put that damn garland out until I'm done talking about this. The witches, the spooks, the jesters, the clowns. And that was just watching national Okay, no, they're like their light will be in their glory tonight, is what the Alton Evening Telegraph said on this October 31st, 1924 evening. What was it like in Halloween? 100 years ago.
I think it was a lot of really interesting homemade costumes. Yeah, Halloween doesn't end in Alton until we talk about it on CJ's show a week later. Yeah, I was talking to one of my coworkers today because I try to make the articles match when the articles themselves come out, match the time period. But then it means that a week later, we're talking about the Halloween Parade. Part 2, because we did talk about it a little bit last week.
And what I think's great is it's just a continuation of part 1, just like the Halloween movies.
Well, there we go. We're creating.
Tying it in today at 10:12.
Gonna get even more Halloween articles, guys. Get ready. No, so 1924, they had the parade. And then it ended in a grand masquerade dance at Turner Hall. So in the early years of the Halloween parade, they culminated in this very fancy dance, which obviously we don't have that part anymore. But the parade itself, even though the parade route has changed a little bit, the parade itself is kind of similar to what it's always been.
Really? Was it a long one?
Well, there were 30 floats. And in 1924, okay, so 1916 is when it started, when the parades started happening. And I mentioned this last week. This was a shock to me, but the first Halloween parade was held to celebrate the completion of a very long, drawn-out street paving project.
Yeah, we were talking, we were talking. Isn't that so amazing?
It's crazy. Yeah. Like something so iconic for Alton was because of the street paving project. And so the street paving project went from Henry Street to Cherry Street. And so those were open for the first time on October 31st. So the part of the parade went down from Henry to Cherry Streets in 1916. And then again, in 1924. But the first versions of the floats, one big difference is that they weren't necessarily cars. They had like handheld floats, like people carried the floats.
I wonder how many of those folks did the ancient Egyptian emperor or empress, float idea.
Yeah,
because it's literally built for that.
Right, it's totally built for that. You wouldn't even have to be creative. So yeah, that was, I guess, the kinds of costumes and the way that the floats went down the street, and some of them, later on after the first couple of years were car or some sort of driven. But that was one thing. In the first parade, there actually weren't supposed to be any cars in it, but everybody was so excited to get to drive down this newly paved street that it was the floats, and then a whole bunch of people got in their cars and came down the street.
Get in!
Yeah, they weren't supposed to. But this is just about 1924, but one really fun thing that I've seen in photos of Halloween parades over the years is that you kind of see what was popular at a certain time. You can kind of tell when the Snoopy, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown came out, because then there were 5 different floats that were Snoopy or Charlie Brown related. There was a Charmin toilet paper ad that was apparently very popular, and a lot of people were inspired by one year.
How old is Charmin?
This was
God dang
70s or before, so I don't remember the exact date. But
man, Charmin's had a trip around the sun.
Yeah, some apparently very effective commercials at one point.
I mean, just seeing so not being funny.
Okay,
but okay, what happened? Did they have someone sweep after the horses?
Oh, you know what? So okay, I don't know if they had horses, because they very much talked about having hand carried.
So horses weren't, because in the Labor Day parade, wasn't there a horse in the pit? I'm looking at the pit. I see a horse here.
Well, what year is that?
Oh, it could have been from 1905 too. It could have been a different one.
When we talked about the Labor Day parade. Oh, well, yeah. But I mean, I think that at that point they were always having to clean up after the horses.
Were they? I've always wondered that. How did that? Did you have a designated city sweeper for that? Was that a thing?
Okay, I would say I'm sure you did, but I also read a report I think it was called The Advancement of Alton from 1916 that talked about some of the problems that we were going to have to figure out as a city. And one of them was that there were so many dead horses in the street and that needed to be taken care of.
Oh, yeah, that's healthy.
So...
Oh, my God.
I don't know if there was I assume there was a designated person, but I mean, cities have always dealt with figuring out where to spend their resources and what resources they have.
God
so
damn.
I don't know.
I mean, but you think about this. You drive by and you see like 2 or 3 cars broken down on the side of the road and you go, man, that's a bad day for that person. Imagine galloping down the road on your horse to see 7 dead horses, on Elm Street.
Right.
That's that is amazing for all the wrong reasons.
Amazing for all the and then you've got a health, like you said, it's a health hazard.
It's a very big health hazard.
So
I mean, that's a huge animal.
Well, that's part of why.
Whoa.
That's part of why sanitation has been such a big difference between people being alive and everybody dying.
Right. Well, I love the whole thing.
Places.
People get so mad at me when I think jet skiing's good, but don't put your body in that Mississippi River.
Oh, yeah.
And no one realizes until 1964, there was only one way for the waste to go. And that's where, isn't that amazing? It wasn't until mid-60s. It's amazing. And that's still floating around. That's still probably fish food, out there from someone's great-grandfather.
Well,
sewage is what I'm referring to.
Sewage is dangerous. I don't think people,
dangerous.
because we don't have to deal with the repercussions the way that they had to in the past. Like, we don't understand how lucky we are to have proper sanitation, proper sewage in a lot of places.
Here's something I've always been fascinated about, and I don't know if you guys have been at home, but before those regulations are in place, like before the sewers are installed and all that, and you have all this treatment facility, could you tell that there was a problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you know, was there just like a known thing that, man, this is pretty unhealthy? Did it smell different? Did it look different? Did the river have a different patina to it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what were some of the concept clues, if there were any, before regulations implemented?
Well, I mean, we can talk about all kinds of different regulations. This is great. This is great. But I mean, like, we talked about the city dump being at the foot of
amazing.
Henry Street and then moved. I mean, it was right next to the water, and we were just letting everything go in the water, and it was burning. I've seen photographs, early photographs from early 1900s, where the sky is just black in the middle of the day. I mean, because of all the industry.
No kidding.
Like, you're just in a cloud of smoke. And I think there were also pictures.
Not a good cloud of smoke.
Right, of like children smoking and that too. But, so I would say that regulations can be very good for our health. It seems like nothing's really changed from 100 years ago to now. Do you know what? I swear to God, this was something too. I mean, we're talking about the parade and we'll get back to it. But, this new generation of children, okay, let me tell you something. When I was in the transitionary generation, where it was like some kids were still smoking cigarettes before the vaping and all that, but no one really smoked cigarettes because you were kind of just looked at as the dirty kid, when you did. Coming from a guy that smoked cigarettes for years. But, it's like amazing now. I swear, when I was coaching the middle school team, how many kids I saw with a nicotine vape at 11 and 12 years old. I'm like, what are you doing? But then I think about it logically because, emotions get the best of all. You're like, what the hell are you doing? Then I'm like, well, it's no different than the 70s when these kids had Camels just in the middle of the pit at Alton High, and I mean, it really isn't that much. It's just kind of like the new smoking, but it was before my generation could truly take it. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? It makes sense. I hate
Is it just more sad than anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
that's fair. That's fair. We got a live audience, folks. Not everything's a laugh. But but you know what I'm saying? It's just amazing, though, what our generation's X is compared to the generation 100 years ago's X.
Right.
Very fascinating.
Right.
So back to this Halloween parade.
Okay.
How long did it last? What was the time?
Oh, gosh.
I swear if I have to start degrading a local publication again for not getting all the details in their articles. You know how much flack I caught from that whenever I said that about not knowing the final end game for that woman. Remember, I kept trying to figure out what happened to Norma. Oh, this was weeks ago.
The horse.
Yeah,
swap. Yeah.
I got in trouble for saying it. I didn't get in trouble, but it was called tasteless for making fun of not having detailed information in that article. So I got to be careful today.
Okay.
I got to be very careful.
Okay. Okay.
tiptoe around this?
You know what? That's a really good question because I have no idea. I have no idea how long. I mean, it was a while. And also people just like kind of hung out in the streets and.
Now, was there a party that followed?
That was when they had the masquerade
That
ball.
was after the parade, though,
After
correct?
the
Because we
parade,
talked about that already.
yeah.
That's what I was trying to remember.
But they also had a lot of just like parties, like individual people's houses. And I think we talked about last week, like this was kind of before trick-or-treating where you go door to door.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even before, and I looked before 1916 just to see like if this is what made Halloween really important in Alton, and that wasn't the case. They were already doing a lot for Halloween. So it just kind of happened this way because that was what was that was the holiday coming up when the street paving project was finished. And they talked about it being a sort of Mardi Gras for Alton. So I do think we've kind of like kept that spirit of it as well. And they had a band. They had the White Hussar Band performing at the beginning. And so we still have like the Marching 100. We have bands as part of it and just people walking as well as the floats. We still have that. So things have changed, but not drastically.
Interesting. What was our infatuation with clowns?
I don't know. But there were a lot of circuses back then. And clowns were really well respected in a lot of that because they were seen as artists. And I think it was more...
I'm not laughing at all. It's
okay.
It's my general. It's just the more when you know. I just never thought of Bozo the clown as an artist. But it's funny though because I say that and I think of it as entertainment. But
right.
I mean, 100 years ago that was art because clowns were a lot different than clowns today.
Yes.
I mean, it
yes.
really just seeing some of the routines from like the true quote unquote like legends of clowns.
Right.
It is amazing.
Right.
Like it's actually like sadness, happiness. It's everything in one.
Yeah, you would have like different kinds of clowns.
Yeah,
like
it's amazing. Some did all of it. Like in one of their, it's amazing what.
Right.
But it's just funny though that crossover because clowns today, make a balloon animal and they call it a good day. They might, squirt some water in your face. Back then, these guys were like the Rubik's cubes of entertainment.
Well, yeah, and we were experiencing entertainment by clowns like on a personal level a lot because they came through with the circus or they came through with it was usually the circus. They didn't just come through randomly, but I hope not. But yeah, it was not I'm sure there were like creepy clowns, but we also didn't have like we didn't have it. We didn't have like
I don't think were there scary clowns back then?
There had to have been.
You would think.
I think that clowns can be scary even if they're not scary just because it's sort of that like what is the thing where something is like we almost recognize it as human but not quite the
I have so many bad jokes to make right now but I'm not going to.
I'll think of it later. There's a term. But I don't know.
So let me ask you about this.
We didn't have a lot of scary movies with clowns.
No, let me ask you about this. Okay. Gacy, that was a good clown scary movie. Why is Halloween spelt wrong in the Telegraph article?
Okay, so this actually made it really hard. It's spelled wrong. It says notice to Halloween celebrants, and in that one it's spelled wrong because it only has one E.
Well, and there's an apostrophe.
But that's actually how they used to spell it.
Are you serious?
Yes, and so it was like HALLOW E''EN, which made it extremely hard for me to search for Halloween because it wouldn't come up on the page.
I see the typo. You're right, because in the heading it has just Halloween, and this one's Halloween.
Yes. Yes. So what I ended up doing, and my coworker Beth suggested it because I was like, I see that Halloween is supposed to be on this page, but I'm not able to it's not being highlighted. I have to search everything. And she said, why don't you put a space in between the E's and see if it picks it up that way? Because it wasn't picking it up with the apostrophe, and the space made it work. So you have to make technology work for you because it wasn't recognizing the apostrophe. It doesn't work well with punctuation, but it could recognize the apostrophe as a space.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So was there any good prankage going on back? Was there a horse that was put on a roof somewhere?
They
upside down sheep.
Well, it's upside down. They just like suspended.
Yeah,
in
like
midair.
the 70s when they put the Christmas trees on the ceiling and dropped them down. Do you remember that?
Oh,
You know they do that with
yeah, that was
sheep?
kind of like a style.
Yeah, it
for a
was.
while there. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I thought was really interesting was that in both 1916 articles and 1924, they talked about basically the Easton Improvement Association having these events kind of like distracting people from doing really bad
It was
stuff.
actually a public safety deterrent. Yeah.
Super, yes. Like it helped people be better. So it was not as bad after the Easton Improvement Association started improving things with the Halloween parade, I guess. But yeah, so previously there had been like people they always talk about what the young boys were doing, that were piling like junk in front of people's shops so they couldn't open the next
Scrap.
morning. Yeah, like scrap metal. And then soaping windows was going on this whole time, both before and after the Halloween parade started happening.
You clean their windows.
I mean, I guess it would
When I hear soap,
be sort of
you
helpful.
got me there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was.
We got 2 minutes. I gotta look up what the hell.
But yeah, so they talked about how somebody at one point had put a buggy on top of one of the Upper Alton stores, and that did not happen in 1924. So there's just a tiny bit of mischief. It was practically mischief-less, I think, is one of the things that.
Oh, okay, so what you do is you layer the window with soap. So when the person starts cleaning it, they're like, why is there so much soap? You know, it's like you're...
Layer the window? What does that mean?
So you take a bunch of soap and you layer like a bar of soap and you'll scrub it on the window. So that way when they go and start cleaning it, that's all when the water starts hitting it, it's just going to be soap.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So there's just more and more soap.
And like you got Jerry, what's the deal with all this soap? You know?
Okay.
You know, there you go. Soaping windows. Actually, they said this is one of 8 Halloween parades that won't get you arrested anymore. So.
Well, there you go. I did think it was interesting that the Alton police chief said
Peter
that they
Fitzgerald.
were... Yeah, Peter Fitzgerald.
I remember that.
That soaping of windows is strictly forbidden and prosecutions will be visited on those who in any way damage property. So he specifically talked about soaping windows, didn't mention any other things that would be a problem, and then said that they would prosecute. So I don't...
Well, and he says damage.
Right. So like, is soaping windows damaging enough to be prosecuted?
Maybe Alton misinterpreted what soaping was and started throwing the bars of soap through the windows. Like, soaped you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. They just took it way too far.
What's new? What are you writing about next week?
I am writing about goldfish. There was
The snack that smiles back.
No, the fish that don't smile at all.
You saw goldfish change their name for that marketing play for like 2 weeks.
They changed their name.
Oh my God. It was called like something sea bass. Like it was this
no,
whole
I
weird
didn't
name.
see it.
I'll end with it. But yeah, so what are you writing about goldfish?
Okay, yeah. So there was a grocer here named Casper Horn, and he had the biggest goldfish business in the state of Illinois. So you get to learn all about the goldfish industry next time.
There you go. Or, as we call them now, the Chilean sea bass crackers.
Oh, that the crackers are the Chilean sea bass crackers?
That's what they're now called.
Okay.
For a couple of weeks, that is. All right, Lacy, we did it again.
Okay.
Have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Thanks.
And all of you aren't done yet. You better stay there. We'll come back with more Daily Show right after this.